Hi everyone, LeThan's Art, episode 3. So we will be drawing a minotaur today. So as you know, get rid of the white. Right, so we're going to start off with the head. Put the axis. That's going to be the placement for the eye. We're going to actually make another circle right there. All right, that's the size of the head. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this line, add the muzzle, so that's the eyelid. The eye is going to be right there. There's a cheek right there. There's going to be an ear. And another ear coming this way. Make it a little bigger. We're going to shrink that up like that. Now we're going to put in the horns. The other one goes behind like this. We're going to add a little more to the head. We're going to shrink that up even more. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to hit warp. And then we're going to put and start putting in the body. It's going to be, his arms are going to be crossing. A little bit of his neck. Here we're going to put in a couple hooves. And close that off. It's a big guy. We're going to put on a belt. We're going to shrink that up even more. We're going to put in almost, it's not really a skirt. It's kind of like wearing almost like a long coat. And then we're going to put in these little designs. Back in the 1900s, there was a fashion artist, a Russian artist named Erte, and he was famous for these like flowing S shapes and these stylized designs. So we're gonna put a little inspiration from Erte into this. All right, I'm gonna speed this up. I'm gonna put in his feet, very ungulant feet. It's an ankle right there, and his other foot. I'm gonna shrink that up even more because his other foot's in front like this. And he's got a tail coming off like that. And there's gonna be a crest coming off his back. And he's kind of got a mohawk kind of going on. So now we're gonna go into another layer and redefine it. But the first thing I want to do is I'm gonna use my lasso tool. And I'm gonna blow up his head. There's another fashion artist from the late 1800s to about 1920 named T.S. Sullivan. And he was famous for using oversized heads. So that's what we're gonna do with this head. Okay, so now we're gonna redefine it. We're gonna put a big eyebrow right here. From here, we're gonna put in his body. We're gonna add those airtay shapes. Put in his hooves. Close the cuff. Put in his belt. Almost like he's wearing pants. All right, now we're going to go into another layer and start coloring it in a local color. Now, what local color is the color of an object that's not in light and it's not and it's not lit. So I want him to be on the almost on the grayish side to start off. So I'm gonna go to my syrup tool, which is the brush that I use for coloring. Bring the opacity down. Do the same thing with the horns. Then I'm gonna go into some blue for the body. Some blue. Color these horns in. The hair. I'm using a short hair brush. Back to the black and color in those hooves. And we're gonna color in that piece right there. Go straight to black. And that crest on his back, we're gonna light it up with a nice blue. Still using a hairbrush. We're going back to the heavy metal, back to the yellow. Really darken it up and put that nice belt buckle in. All right, I'm just gonna name my layers very quickly. All right, and we're gonna go to the next layer. We're gonna call this shadows. And you have to go to the blend mode, which is this N, and scroll up and go to multiply and set it to multi-blush, the blend mode to multiply. And what that does is it takes the color underneath and blends it with the color on top. And you got a nice shadow. So what I want is we're gonna use the fine hair. And we're gonna put everything on the bottom in shadow. Put the same thing on his face. And we're gonna I'm gonna take this color, put it on the bluish. And back to the local color. We're gonna get a nice yellow. We're gonna go to the syrup, and we're gonna bring out that eye. Toes in there, just like that. Now I'm gonna add a layer on top, actually. A layer on top. We're gonna add highlights. And we're gonna send that blend mode to overlay. Back to the blue. Fine hair. And we're gonna start pulling out. highlights. We're going to put a highlight there, a highlight there, a little highlight there on the nose. Back to the local color, back to that yellow. Heavy metal. Now we're gonna ground them and put a nice background. So what I'm gonna do is add a layer on top. Call it BG for background. And what I'm gonna do is we are going to get a nice brown. Then we are going to go into that, some wasteland on the background. We're going to put in and we're going to tap the background. All right, we will go wild grass. We're going to change the hue. We're going to really darken this now. We are going to go to, let's see what Mountain Ash does. All right, now we are going to do one more thing. We are going to go with snow gum. And what's that? What that's going to do is create some leaves. And we're going to do that on top. And the last thing I'm going to do is go back to the highlights. Go to find here. All right, well, that's been it for episode 3. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Thanks. Bye.